I always pack my defense anytime I get money from my parents because I know it won't really flow in to the extent that I really want it to come in. It will come once in a while. So I have to be extremely defensive for this. And I use the 5-4-1 formation for this. I use four defenders. Whatever your favorite team is, those are the number. Just put there your defenders in your favorite team, right? And then four midfielders. And then one person to attack. So this is just in terms of finances. Okay, sorry, I've been just relating that in terms of football or what. But in terms of finances, I use the 5/10, and then my 4/10, and then 1/10. Sorry, 1/10. So the 5/10, this is where I buy everything I need at the point. That here, I stock a lot of things that I will need for a particular period of time. If it's food that will take me for a little while, like maybe a month or 2 months, like that quite often. And to me, this 50% is just enough to purchase that all at the point that I really want anytime. Because why? Why not? I have very few needs that I really buy at any particular point. And I feel like it's the same with medical students because now once you need something, you need most of the times maybe can I say we are quite fixed up. Yep. So we have fun, right? But most of the fun that we have is at hospital. Okay, that's for me personally. I don't know whatever you may be like what you really enjoy doing most of the time. But personally I enjoy reading, I enjoy like being around patients and being on ward when I'm not really forced to do that or when I'm just doing it for fun. But once if an external force comes in, then I really don't want it to be that way. And then the 4/10, this is my midfield. I use that to improve on my knowledge and skills because quality knowledge or premium knowledge needs a premium pay most of the times. So I buy a few books, I subscribe to online courses or like things that will help me improve on my skills to another level. So I really this one I don't negotiate with it. The 40% has to be there. At least I can regulate this, but at least the 40% has to be there. And I will just show you how I regulate these other ones in the 3-4-3 in the 3-4-3 formation. But before we go that, let's just continue. So the 40% or the four of this, I use it to buy a few books because previously I wasn't so much enjoying non-fiction books, like reading non-fiction books, maybe books about finances and business and all the books that the only books that I could read were academic books. So maybe I had to read a few books about anatomy, physiology, pathophysiology, all those things. Those are the things that I was reading. But later on, like when I started to learn more about finances and business, so I developed up this culture to buy a few books about finances and business. So currently, I really enjoy them most than even the academic books. Honestly, yeah. But anyway, I try to balance up. Actually, not trying, but I balance them up perfectly. That I have to be good at both of them. And so that's my 40/4 formation, my midfield. And then my attacking force, I use the 1/10, a tennis. So this tennis is the one that I save and invest on the things or the features that I really want to use. That's always when I get money from parents. Reason as to why I do all the things because money from a parent you don't want like it's not like maybe a job that you're doing that any time to flow in. Okay, for me personally, right? Because some people really they have their parents as an income machine, so anytime they want to receive money from them and like that. But me, I take myself as an adult. Really, pulling money is me. It's not fun, and I don't really need it. I want to make my own money, right? Sorry if it offends you in one or the other. Anyway, this one I can't say that I've started using it, but it's what I'm yet to start using. The 3-4-3 formation. Well, I have three defenders, and then I have four in my midfield. And then the attacking force is the three. So this one is just packing up. Of course, you can realize that my midfield is the same, and I'm packing up. I'm equipping my knowledge and skills, like improving on my knowledge and skills, because currently I'm still young and I don't really know enough. That's the truth. I don't really know enough. So I really have to find ways of gaining as much knowledge as I can. Because later in life, I just have a belief that later in life we shall run, or I will be so busy to an extent that I couldn't. It's harder for me to gain more knowledge later in life than I am currently. So currently, I can learn and relearn a few things, like very many things. I'm not yet rigid to that extent where I've tried out certain things and then maybe they failed me, so I hated them completely. I'm not yet there. Unlike someone who is 50, 60 years old, they did particular things. Maybe they were ruined, their lives were, maybe were in danger at one point, so they hate it and they even hate learning about it. I'm not yet there. So before I get there, I want to. This one has to be priority most of the time. So I have to understand whatever I'm doing through books, through online, maybe podcasts, videos, or even reading a few literatures, a few articles about research and psychology, everything. I just have to invest into that. And then the defensive force, that's where now I buy all the needs with the 30% or the 3 of 10 that I want. That's for the later time. That this one comes with a quite increased, source of income. When my income increases, that's when I will do to this. With my current income, I think I cannot utilize this effectively because I may end up like pulling again money maybe from the four back here or from here. Still, it won't be effective as such because that means I will lose out certain things. That's why I can't honestly use this. So I have to remain with this, the 541. But now, for you, if at all maybe you have a very stable income and your income isn't too, staggering in a way and comes in to a point that is sufficient enough for you to do things, this is the best formation because it will increase your attacking force. That means you get more goals scored, more goals achieved. You have three people attacking, and then your midfield is strong, right? So it's supplying up your guys. Balls are coming over, and you will see more and more goals being scored at the opponent side. So this is my plan, and this is my fulfillment for this. So if you have guys that are scoring for you, a midfield that's proper, this defense is just good enough. And let me just sketch up how it will completely appear. That's our goal. This is the 541. 7, 8, 9, and then 10 will be the one attacking. So we have the 2326453. That's under this, and then this one is off the equation. So we shall have this, right? So as our formation, and then the goalkeeper in this case is you that's doing all these things. Anyway, that's what I could take as part of my thing, and I adopted it, and I really love it. It really works best for me, and you can try it out. Not even just trying out, but get committed to it and to work for you. I know to some extent, and if it doesn't work, then we shall work on it. All right. So thank you for watching to this point, and I know by the time you watch up to this point, that means you have some good affection for whatever you be saying, and then maybe you're committed to improving your finances as a medical student and also getting much more better onto our journey. Remember, in my previous video, I was talking about how and my plan on how I become a millionaire doctor by 34, and that's my goal towards wherever I'm heading to. So, thank you for watching and join me onto this journey. We roll it together. A nice time and bye.